The film is set in World War II, during the Nazi invasion of the Soviet Union. A German truck stops on a snowy hill, and after getting off, the commander prepares to execute a Russian couple they had captured. The man has a sack over his head, and upon removing it they discover that he is disguised as a well-known German dictator. They explain that they were doing a comedy and are only actors, but the commander sees this as a mockery and orders them to be executed. Suddenly, the commander is shot from afar, and one by one the Nazi soldiers fall. Seconds later, the mysterious sniper appears from the woods, and turns out to be a lethal Nazi hunter known as the Red Ghost. The couple thank him for saving their lives and ask his name, but the shooter ignores them, and after looting the belongings of the fallen Germans the man leaves. Elsewhere, a group of Soviet soldiers are passing through the forest while carrying a wounded comrade. The leader of the group is named Dead, and his companions are Kostya, Politruk, Moryachok, and Nurse Vera. After a long hike, the group finds a young boy about to freeze to death in the snow. The boy's name is Singleton, and he struggles to stand up while claiming to be a Soviet soldier. Upon inspecting him, they see that he has no weapons and does not appear to be a threat, so they decide to help him and integrate him into the group. As the hours go by, things get more complicated. The cold gets harsher than usual and they find some ruins where they decide to spend the night. The group builds a big fire and sits down to talk, but everyone's spirits collapse when their wounded companion, whom they carried for days, dies from his infected wounds. The next morning, dozens of Germans arrive at the hill where the Red Ghost killed their soldiers. As the bodies are taken away, two officers comment on their concern for the lethal Nazi hunter, since in less than 2 months he killed 61 German soldiers. At the same time, the Soviets continue their adventure and arrive at a cabin in the middle of the forest, which seems abandoned after the German attack. Moryachok goes first, making sure there are no Nazis inside, and after seeing that it is safe they warn their other comrades. Upon entering, Moryachok finds a pile of food and vodka on the table, but when he goes to take a drink Kostya stops him, and Dead quickly remarks that it is a poisoned feast left by the Germans, as a trap for the Soviet partisans. When the rest of the group approaches, we see that Vera is pregnant, and after exploring the residence the group finds the owners of the place murdered in the barn. On the other hand, a group of Germans led by Captain Braun, along with his subordinate Klein, drive through the snow in search of the Red Ghost. They have the mission to find and kill the Soviet sniper, who has caused so many deaths among his men, but after driving for a while Braun mentions that it is time to go to some shelter to eat and take a shower. Hearing this, Klein mentions that there is a hut nearby, with beds and a nice bathroom, and that its owners were killed a few days before. While the Germans are on their way to the hut, the group of Soviet soldiers plan to go to a nearby village for supplies and food, to hold out for a long time. Vera, who is pregnant, decides to stay and rest, and Moryachok offers to stay behind to protect her. After a while, the group sets off in the direction of the village, and just then the Germans arrive at the hut. Vera sees them coming through a window, and quickly runs to hide in a chest. The Germans search the place, and upon entering, Klein tells Braun that he left that poisoned food on the table, and has already managed to kill 4 Russians with that technique. At the same time, Moryachok runs to the rest of the group, who had not yet strayed too far, and reveals to them of the Nazis' presence. Politruk beats him, angry at leaving Vera alone, but the man tells him that she was outside the hut when they arrived, and it was too late. The group devises a plan to rescue Vera, and spy on the Germans from the woods to plan their next move. At the hut, the Germans are happy that they are going to rest and they start dancing with a piglet, but Braun shoots the animal and orders them not to play with the food. Meanwhile, Vera remains in the chest, and watches the Germans from her hiding place while they talk about the famous enemy sniper, the Red Ghost. Minutes later, one of the German soldiers, named Gunther, hears a noise coming from the chest, and upon opening it is surprised to find the woman inside. The man empathizes with her and says nothing, but his comrades notice him strangely and know that he is hiding something, so he ends up admitting that there is a woman hidden in the chest. Quickly, Braun begins to interrogate Vera, with the help of Gunther as translator, and the woman assures them that she lives here. However, the soldiers see no picture of her in the house, and suspect that she is lying to them. The woman begs their forgiveness. She says she is about to give birth and changes the story saying she was only seeking shelter for her baby in the hut, but the Germans do not believe her, and soon find her documents and her Soviet military uniform, so they discover that she is their enemy. Klein brutally beats her, and covered in blood takes her outside to kill her. Her Soviet comrades watch everything from a distance, and Dead says they cannot save her, but Singleton does not intend to let her die, and they quickly sneak away with Moryachok and the others to the first German trench, finishing off all the Nazis quietly. Klein takes aim at Vera, and the woman says that God will punish him for killing a pregnant woman. Gunther translates for her, and upon hearing this Klein feels bad, so he gives the gun to Gunther for him to do it. The man takes a few seconds, at which point someone shoots him in the head. To everyone's surprise, the red ghost was there, and after throwing several grenades into the house, Vera takes the opportunity to run for cover. The Soviets take this opportunity to attack as well, and together with the sniper manage to kill several Germans and storm the hut. Braun, who was in the sauna, runs out naked trying to hide, and the red ghost takes the opportunity to enter and take cover from the sauna, but inside was waiting for him Klein, who throws boiling water in his face. Klein then runs trying to escape, but trips over a branch and is knocked out by hitting his head on a log. The same fate awaits the red ghost, as he too loses consciousness from burns. After wiping out all the Germans and taking the place, the Soviets stand guard, but we see that Klein had risen and pretends to be dead. On the other hand, his compatriots take the red ghost to the hut, where they take care of him, and at that moment Vera starts contractions, but Dead is experienced and helps her deliver her baby. In the middle of the snow, we see Braun running in a woman's dress, and soon after he arrives at the road where he meets up with other Germans. They are horrified to see the captain dressed like that, but decide to help him anyway. At the same time, the red ghost regains consciousness, and after picking up his rifle simply leaves. From his behavior, the other Soviets deduce that they are in danger, so they quickly take up their weapons and prepare to defend. Minutes later, the Germans on the road arrive at the house and begin their attack. The captain orders a hail of grenades to rain down on the hut, blowing everything into the air. Vera, her baby, and Simpleton fall back and take cover, while Dead goes to talk to Kostya to change position, putting himself in the front line. Braun talks to his superior to organize the assault on the place, and quickly the Germans begin to advance towards the hut, but Politruk waits for them in position with his heavy machine gun, managing to finish off some of them. From afar, the red ghost takes out several Germans as they approach, but eventually Braun and the remaining soldiers make it all the way to the hut. The Soviets are better positioned and fight smarter, but the Germans outnumber them, and soon suffer some casualties. Dead is shot dead, at the same time Braun shoots Kostya in the abdomen. Politruk suffers a trauma to his jaw that leaves him incapacitated, but after drinking a whole bottle of vodka he goes out to shoot all the Germans, managing to finish off 4 of them before being shot down. Moryachok is killed by a grenade explosion, and when it seems all is lost, the red ghost and Braun finally come face to face. The two begin a hand-to-hand fight, first with bayonets on their rifles and then hand-to-hand. At one point, Braun draws his pistol and goes to shoot, but the red ghost manages to stab him and finish him off. The man thinks he has won the battle, but then, Klein gets up and finishes the red ghost off with a shot in the back. Seconds later, Klein is shot from afar, at which point it is revealed that Vera and Simpleton managed to survive by hiding during the assault. In the next scene, we see a group of Germans in the village, who had recaptured the actor from the beginning. The Nazis begin to beat him mercilessly in front of everyone, and say that anyone who has information about the red ghost will step forward, or the man will be brutally murdered. Since no one responds, the Germans take a boy and threaten to shoot him, so finally the actor decides to talk, and taunts them by telling them how the red ghost saved him several days earlier and finished off all his captors. The German officer gets angry and orders him to be killed, but at that moment a sniper shoots him and everything turns into chaos. The civilians begin to attack the Germans, while the sniper continues to kill them from afar. As he finishes, the sniper approaches and loots the bodies of the Germans. The actor looks at him and approaches to thank him again for saving him, but realizes that it is not the same person. At that moment, it is revealed that the new sniper is Kostya, who had survived the German attack and decided to take the place of the deceased red ghost, continuing his legacy. Subscribe and turn on notifications to see more videos like this. Leave a like to help the channel out, and thank you for watching.